fairly early in the morning, probably like 9 or 10. It's already probably 95 out here, really hot. A lot has happened in the last few days, so I'm gonna try and catch you up on it while the guys work on a fence in the background. Last Thursday, what was last Thursday? Maybe like the 29th or something like that. We decided to go get a free kitten in Mammoth Springs. So we went and picked up this kitten. I almost broke down. I almost thought, there's no way we can get all these fleas off this kitten. Let's just drop it back off or find a groomer and pay to have it done. But Matt was determined that we would press on, and it was well worth it. The kitty's happy and fine inside, and we'll show you some pictures of the kitten too. So that was Thursday. We probably got home 9 or 10 o'clock Thursday night. So Friday we decided to just have a stay home night because the next day we'd be heading out to Silver Dollar City. Saturday morning we woke up at 5. We got out of here by 5:30 and drove to Silver Dollar City. Spent the day there in the blazing hot sun. Probably got into Silver Dollar City maybe 15 or 20 minutes after they opened. And we went past their new time traveler ride that Kaysen desperately wanted to ride, this roller coaster. And Cameron was the only one that could ride it with him, but did not want to. Did not want to ride it at all, but said he would do it. So I'm like, hurry, hurry, get in line. I don't even see a line. Run in it. And it happened so fast, I wasn't able to do like my typical mommy prep protocol on if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. Stay together, hold hands, talk to each other, don't talk to strangers. If you have to go to the bathroom, do this. If you get scared, come find us here. I didn't have time to do any of that. They're going down the thing, running to it, and I'm saying like, we're gonna meet you at the exit. We'll meet you at the exit. So we go around to the exit, find a good spot where we can see the people getting on and getting off the ride. Thankfully it's in the shade and there's fans and stuff. 40 minutes go by and I'm like, what the heck's going on? Where are my babies? What's going on? I go and I look at the exit thinking maybe they chickened out and got scared and they're looking for us somewhere. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to stay calm because if I get upset, I got anxiety issues and it will just go straight through my stomach. Did not want to have to deal with that. So I'm trying to stay calm and think everything's okay. Line must have just been longer than what we could see because we couldn't see a line at all. An hour probably goes by and I finally whisper to Matt, hey, please ask someone getting off the ride how long they had to wait in line because of course I won't talk to anybody because I'm shy. So Matt does that and the guy said he probably waited an hour and 15 minutes. Like, holy cow. Then this lady next to us chimes in and says that her husband has been in line for an hour and 20 minutes. And she tells me the time that they got there. So I'm like, okay. Well, Cameron and Kaysen will probably be about maybe 15 minutes after these people. 16 people can get on a ride at one time. After 2 hours maybe, her husband finally gets on the ride. So I want to say it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 20 minutes when we finally saw Kaysen and Cameron. They got on the ride. We'll show you the clips of that.
There they go! How was it?
That one, you're dead.
Was Kaysen, was that fun?
Yeah.
Come here, tell me. Did it scare you?
Yep. And look at this track. All of it's loop-de-loops.
Alright, so you pretty much just saw that Cameron did not want to get on pretty much anything else for the rest of the day other than little kid rides. That was it. That was more than he could take. He's like me, except for I wouldn't even get on it. Matt would love to. The little boys would have loved to, but they weren't tall enough. So, we stayed there as long as we could. It was so hot, we probably left at about 3. And then we headed about an hour further up north into Missouri, somewhere around Springfield, to a farm, I think. She has a Cooney cross with AGH piglets. Now, We would prefer a Cooney full breed, but a pure breed pig is anywhere from $400 to $600 around here, and a pure American guinea hog, which we had, is anywhere from, I think, $150 to $250 per pig. And she was selling hers for $50 a piglet, and if you bought more than one, then it would be $40. So we get there, they're absolutely adorable. We see exactly what we want, and we end up getting a male from one litter and 2 female sisters from the other litter. We'll show you the clips of that. We bring them home. We leave them in the Tupperware bin, the container on the front porch overnight, and they're just sleeping and they're totally fine. The next morning, we set them up in here and we sit with them for at least an hour or longer. Matt and I probably got up at 5 that morning, sat with them to make sure the dogs weren't chasing them, to teach the dogs that they weren't toys or anything. Dogs were doing great, pigs were going around eating, loving life. Everything was wonderful. We had to leave. We had to drive 2 to 3 hours to Jonesboro, which is close to Memphis, to take our van in to have the AC fixed. The AC in the back is not working, and the kids are just sweating to death. So we had no choice but to leave and do that. On the way down there, we feel wonderful. Matt and I are talking how the farm's coming together. We just already love these piglets so much. We got a rooster, we love the sound of him. Everything is just so wonderful. Okay, then we come back and it's Sunday. We still have the afternoon left and we still have to do our grocery shopping and our laundry in town. But we decide, since we're kind of passing by here, even though it would be an extra 15 or 20 minutes to shoot home, let's just shoot home, give everything fresh cold water, and check on everything. We're pulling in the driveway, we see the pigs laying under the tarp. I get this horrible feeling. We start counting it, and there's only 2 pigs. So we put the 3 new pigs in the pasture this morning, and then we had to run to Jonesboro to drop off the van to have some things fixed. And they gave us this loaner car, and we come back to check on the animals before going to the grocery store, and we only see 2 pigs. One is missing. The little female that we call Peaches is missing. And Cameron and Matt are out walking around in the pasture. They've got one of the dogs, trying to get one of the dogs to help. We've got no clue to look. We don't even know how long it's been missing. It hurts. It hurts a lot. One is missing. We have no idea what happened. Matt's like thinking somebody came by and took it. I'm like, no honey, nobody's gonna come by, go through an electric fence and try and catch a screaming pig. Something happened, it got out, or an aerial predator. I don't even think they could pick up these heavy little pigs, but they probably could. But we have just no idea what could have possibly happened. You know, did the dogs chase it and the pig just bolted through the electric wire? We have no clue. So we still needed to go to town and get hog feed too. We go to town, we do what we're doing, we're in the grocery store, we get a phone call from a Mennonite neighbor. And he says, and Matt just answers the phone immediately and says, Dan, please tell me you found our pig. And he's like, well, actually, one of my family members just drove by and saw 2 of your pigs at the end of the driveway. And we were like, oh no. So we throw the rest of the food in the cart, check out, get home as safely as we possibly can to try and find these pigs. We did not tell Cameron or any of the kids what was going on because Matt and I already felt completely heartbroken and sick to our stomach. I mean, the $120 check still hadn't even cleared on the pigs, and here we are, lost all 3 pigs. Feel like complete losers. What kind of farmers are we? What are we doing here? We have no clue what we're doing. We're no good at this. We felt awful, and we didn't want Cameron to have any of these feelings. Hold on a second, kids. So we waited until we were on the gravel road, like 2 or 3 minutes from the house, to tell Cameron what was going on. I said, Cameron, when we were in the store, someone called, the rest of the pigs are out. I'm gonna drop you and Daddy off at our front driveway, and then I will go to the Daddy's work and put the groceries in the refrigerator. So I dropped them off. I just couldn't do it. Drop them off, and then we start driving down the road, just looking for any signs of them down the roads. I got Kason hanging out the window, looking for tracks on the ground. I'm going up and down these roads and stuff. Finally, 9 o'clock, I go put the groceries away. And, you know, once the sun set, the crickets and bugs and stuff got so noisy that you could not possibly hear a pig grunting or anything. So that night, Sunday night, we feel horrible. We feel, I don't want to do animals anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore. We're not responsible. We don't know what we're doing. Just all kinds of thought. God, why is this happening? Why do we stink at this? What lesson are we supposed to learn? Just everything. And we go to bed pretty late, and Matt wakes up really early in the morning and decides, you know, he's just going to go outside and start doing Cameron's chores, which is not what we usually do. We don't do Cameron's chores. Cameron feeds the animals in the morning after we drop Matt off. Well, he decides he's going to go feed the animals at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning before he goes to work. So he is over here at the back of the shed that we are now using for like our feed and barn at the end of it. He's back here, and he's filling all the buckets, distributing everything out for the animals and stuff. And all of a sudden, oh no, sorry, getting ahead of myself. He's just spending time talking to God, praising God, singing to God, determined that he's just not going to be upset, and there's obviously a lesson that we needed to learn. You know, something, I don't really know, something like that. And he's just talking to God. God, I want to praise you. Why can I never remember the words to the praise songs I want to sing to you? And just totally in the middle of that, right here, when he hears oinking, like snorting pig noises. And he's like, what did I just hear? And he looks around the door, and right here, wandering up, is 2 of the pigs. Just out of all the places, look at all these places these pigs could have wandered up. Not to mention, they could have went to these farms over here. They could have went down the road. They could have got eaten by coyotes. There's a bobcat that lives right over here that could have eaten them. And all the places, the pigs show up right here by his feet. He throws down chicken feed. He yells up here in the window to Cameron, Cameron, get your shoes on. Get out here and help me catch these pigs. And they start catching them. So Cameron ends up yelling to me. I'm still in bed with the baby because it's only like 6 or so. Yelling to me, Mommy, get your shoes on and help us. We see the pigs. So I do that. They're like, hold this bin down. I'm holding this bin down. I start grabbing rocks to put on it, and they're yelling at me, no, that won't work. The pig can bust out the rocks. He's already done it and gotten out. So I'm like just hanging over this bin for like 15 minutes holding it down. Finally, Cameron comes back, puts tie-down straps on it. I go looking for Matt because Matt is chasing the white one down the road. And I'm like, man, if we only had a cast net, we could totally throw a cast net out over this pig and catch it. And I'm like, okay, we got one big heavy comforter. Maybe that would work. Maybe that would at least slow it down just a little bit. So I go inside, grab that, start heading down the driveway, and I don't hear Matt or see him anywhere. And I'm just yelling, Matt, Matthew. I'd wait a minute. I'm like, well, maybe he's about to grab the pig and he doesn't want to yell. And I'm like, no, just call me. Just let me know where you're at and I can help. I can't find them anywhere. Start heading back to get the car because I'm going to go look for them. I give the blanket to Cameron. Cameron goes down the driveway. I get the car. I start heading down this way and I finally see Matt carrying the pig back with its head in the bucket. Matt had to run the entire length of our property. He will probably tell you how far it was down here. I think it's like a quarter of a mile or something. Honey, correct me right here. And he had to run the entire way to keep up with this piglet or he would have lost sight of it. And he finally got it all the way to the barn, way down the road, threw some food out and managed to catch it. So we were so scared that we were going to lose these 2 pigs again. We're like, what could we possibly put them in that they just cannot get out of? So we're like, okay, the dog kennel that we are currently using for Kaysen's black chicks. The chicks are probably big enough. Let's boot the chicks out because after all, the chicks only cost $1.50 or so and the pigs cost $40. So which one you gotta, you know, gotta take your pick here. So we booted them out, put them in there. We hate that we have 2 pigs in this thing, but to keep them safe, and right now they're in the sunshine, so I'm gonna move this over here. Nope, I'm gonna have to move that board in just a second to block the sun from getting them. You know, just no choice. That's the safest thing to keep them in, to keep them alive until we can get their hog thing built. So, like I said, it had been a weekend from the flea cat to Silver Dollar City to getting the pigs to losing the pigs to now we've got to build this thing. Not to mention we're stuck with this loaner vehicle, which we're super grateful for, but talk about it just does not fit our family at all. You can't put groceries and clothes and gas cans and farm supplies in that thing. So we ended up strapping these long 16-foot hog panels to the top with a blanket so it doesn't scratch it, but we're doing it. We're happy to have these pigs back. Yes, our heart still desperately wants the little Peaches pig back. The beautiful, sweet little, that was our favorite. We want that pig back. We haven't given up hope that it will just show up, but it's been since, what's today? Today is Sunday. No, today is the 4th of July. And the pig got lost on Sunday. Today's the 4th. Throwing me off because Matt's home today. So here I will show you the poor little pigs right now. Hey piggies! Hey piggies! Hey piggies! Hey piggies! We're gonna get you out of here really soon. Oh. So if we run the electric fence around the hog pen, it will be extra protection in case they do get out of the hog pen. Then they would have to get through the electric fence too. And to keep them from lifting up the sides of this with their nose, we're gonna put tent stakes in it. Preferably 2 in each one, but I'm not sure if we have enough. And we decided to save a little time today, we would just move them around inside of the dog enclosure. And then the dogs could kind of help protect them from any predators too, but not be able to like chase them or mess with them or play with them. All right guys, how's this coming?
Mommy!
Well, I had put posts over there.
Uh-huh.
And then I put the first panel up.
Uh-huh.
And then we did another panel in a 90 off of it. And there was a really bad gap.
Okay.
So what I discovered is that there's going to be dips in the ground, so you got to be able to move this around to find the best spots where you're not bridging over a dip.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to try to do is connect all the ends together first and see how it holds up. Then once we connect it, make a square. We think we found a spot where there's no dips along the fence line. So once we make a square, then we'll decide how many and where to put T-posts up.
Gotcha.
But those 2 over there ain't
I think that was a mistake starting with T-posts. We need to start with our shape and check the dips and then do T-posts.
Okay. And now technically, honey, this fencing that we buy, is it just all livestock fencing or is it poultry netting?
It's poultry netting, but they classify their poultry netting as anything and everything.
Anything and everything.
Right.
Okay. So those of you that haven't gotten piglets yet and think, oh, I can use this fence, let me assure you, you cannot. Unless you somehow can secure all your bottoms. So if you don't know about a pig, they stick their nose under something, then they lift their nose up, and they are free. Now, even though this fence is tight, it is not that tight at the bottom. So we are going to use tent stakes to hold it down. So they are going to be inside the hog fence, and the hog fence is going to be inside the electric fence, which is extra secured by the tent stakes and the pups. Who knew little piglets could just get out of so much stuff? Now, when we had the Buddy and Sally, the
American guinea hog?
yeah, what would you call their growth? They were like teenagers, year olds,
Young adults.
young adults. The American guinea hogs, the young adults, Buddy and Sally. They never once got out of this electric fencing.
No. Once they found out it shocked them, they wouldn't come close to it. They gave it a pretty good, like 6-inch buffer every time they graze around it.
Right.
Okay.
And now this we should be able to step over to feed, so we don't need any kind of gate.
You might not be able to, and Jason probably won't be.
Come with me. Let's do the next one, buddy.
No.
We'll figure it out. As long as pigs can't jump, this should work.
We put the bottom holes down here. That's because if we put the big holes down on the ground, these big holes, the pigs will be able to just go through them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we had to get the smaller holes on the ground. See how much smaller holes are right here?
Uh-huh, and the pigs can't go out that?
Yep.
Awesome, that's a great idea.
The big male pig wouldn't be able to get through these big holes, but maybe the little female will be able to.
Yeah, so that's why we put the big holes at the top.
Yeah.
All right, we are working on right now, just trying to get these things. Originally, we thought it was just going to be a perfect square, but because of the shape of the land, you end up with some gaps underneath that, you know, the tip of your boot could fit under, and we're not taking any chances with these piglets. So we're going to make it whatever shape we can, as long as it's
perfect.
It's perfect on the ground with no gaps.
Yep.
I mean, what in the world did everybody else do to keep piglets in?
Well,
Why is it so hard?
The nice thing about this is, just playing with it for a few minutes, I realized two things. One, when these panels are not perfectly flat, they're stronger and more rigid. When they have a curve in them, they're stronger. And two, this whole thing is more sturdy if you don't try to make a square. If you try to make a square, you can feel like you need to support the middles.
Careful, careful. Alright, so we got some temporary shade up for them until we figure out some lightweight, movable shade structure. Come on, you know you want in that little swimming pool.
He's like, oh man.
This is the life.
Oh.
Cue the Caribbean music. All right, pigs on pasture, round 2.